The Curia camera is an assessment tool that we use in color puncture that we can pinpoint exactly where a person's consciousness is blocked. It's wonderful because it will show us where we need to go to begin our work. I'm so excited about this camera. It shows the person's energy and how it flows through their body, and that's our job, is to keep that energy open and flowing. I am really excited, and this is Kay Vogel with HoustonColorPuncture.com.
What else do you feel like it's important for people to know about what you can offer? Because this actually sounds like some very cutting edge and important work you're doing. So
I do think it's important, and I do think it's cutting edge. It's not new. I mean, it's centuries old. The Egyptians 4,000 years ago used to paint the entire rooms different colors in the pyramids and have light shine in and put people in there to soak in those colors. And so it's not a new technology at all. What is different is how it's used today. And
or that it is used today.
Absolutely, or that it is used.
Yes.
And it's very specific. It's we don't say that it's medical because we don't want to. It works very well with traditional medicine. I have a significant number of people that have cancer. Some of them have chosen not to do regular therapy, and some of them do regular therapy. And what color puncture does is it will support a person where they are. So whatever meds they're on or whatever treatment they're getting, I tell them do not change that. Don't get off of it. If you've got high blood pressure, you need to have it checked often because your body's going to change and your med requirements are going to change. Right. But it's very technical and it's very specific. It's not like, they're going to come in the room and I'm just going to be all glowy and shine something on them and say, whoa, you're healed, and send them out the door. So people come for a lot of different reasons. And the part that was the most important to me is that color puncture is backed up by science. And it's the reason I love the camera. Now, everybody that's a color puncturist doesn't have a camera. Most people don't.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't have to have the camera.
You don't have to have a camera. When we do the training, which I'm certified at this level now to teach it, we teach people a way to diagnose people by reading their tongue, doing Chinese face reading, reading the face. There's areas on the back that you palpitate. You palpitate the fingers, and iridology. So we give them about 6 or 7 tools that when a person comes into them, instead of taking a picture, they check out all of these areas and they come up with an evaluation. And so everything that color puncture has ever done has been backed up by a very well-known physicist named Fitz Popp. And he's one of Peter Mandel's good friends, and that he's always made sure that everything he does is researched, that it's tested in his clinic over and over again. It's not just some woo-woo idea that somebody came up and said, I think this light's real pretty and we'll just go for it.
Right.
I
like the color purple, and you should too.
And with that said, it's interesting with children because children have this innate ability to know what they need. And sometimes I really will let them just pick up the colors and see what they're drawn to. I love this story. I had a mother that was a client of mine until she got pregnant, and we don't treat pregnant women because some of the treatments really affect the hormonal system. So, they're good for people with thyroid issues and hormone imbalance and stuff like that, but we don't treat pregnant women. So I treated her up until a point that I knew that, she was pregnant. And when her baby was born, he was born with 2 little tiny holes in his heart. And so she brought him to me, and I was like, well, okay, what can I do for him? And it's part of a prenatal treatment, but babies are so tiny you can't do much. But I used a rose-colored light, which is like rose quartz, and did these tiny little treatments on his baby fingers, which are his prenatal fingers. And then when he was about 6 months old, his mom took him in, and he had a very successful heart surgery. So now that his heart was okay, with that comes a lot of congestion and things like that. So she started bringing him in to see me to clear up some of the physical issues resulting from his surgery. And when he was about 18 months old, his mom came in for treatment. She brought him with her. And I have these little places all over my office where I keep, crystals and stones and different interesting things. And while I was treating her, he was toddling all over my office. And he brought this handful of these stones and set them on the chair in my office. And he had gone from place to place and picked up every single rose quartz that I have
Oh, wow.
in my office.
Wow.
And those were the only ones that he was playing with. So I was like, somewhere that information's still in there.
Absolutely. That's very cool. That's very cool. So do you think it matters what colors we wear?
Yeah, I do think it matters.
I do too.
I think it matters a lot. Most people gravitate to something that feels good for them, but you can actually alter the way you feel by what colors you wear. You know, the really hot colors, the reds and the yellows and the orange. If you're a person that has a tendency to be depressed, I tell my clients to wear orange. Because orange is people go around and say, well, it's just a really blue day today, and I'm feeling so blue. Well, orange is the complementary color of blue, and that's how you balance those emotions is through orange. So I think it makes a huge difference.
Okay. I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree with you more. Now, do you find that, and I've always been curious about this, so do you find that certain people do just innately gravitate toward certain colors? I mean, not even so much for healing, just because of personality type, or
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do, because there's layers and layers of psychology around color, but people do have personalities like blue. Blue's doesn't always mean you're sad, but blue is a very calm, cool color. A lot of nurses and teachers are blue people. My son is a firefighter paramedic, and he is an orange person. They're the ones that want to go out and be on the edge of danger and, do all those kinds of things. And a red person are the really crazy ones, like Evel Knievel.
Yeah, passionate, very passionate.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Over the top passionate.
Over the top.
Yeah, or angry.
Yes,
Sometimes
or
they're
angry. Yeah.
Yes.
And that whole thing about California girls, I mean, what color comes to mind? Yellow. Those sunny California
That's
girls.
true. That's
yeah.
true. Okay. So this camera, or it's a machine, right?
Yes.
Okay. Do you sell those as well? Do you teach people how to use those, and can they purchase their own to do this kind of work, or is that?
Once you've been certified as a practitioner, which is it's a very intense training. It's not something you do overnight. Then you can take the Curia training, and yes, you can buy a camera, and they're not cheap. So some people have them and some people don't. I would say that, I don't know, maybe 15 or 20% of the people that practice in the United States actually have a camera.
Okay, all right. But what a great thing that we have one right here in Houston, Texas.
Absolutely.
Yes. So, how do people get hold of you, Kay, if they want to find out more?
They can go to my website, which is HoustonColorPuncture.com. That's the easiest way to get all of my information, and I'm very centrally located, and love to meet people and love to talk about color puncture.
All right. And do you also do classes, workshops? Do you teach people to do this on a fairly regular basis?
I do teach. For the last 20, 25 years, there's only been 2 teachers in the United States, and they actually met Peter Mandel in an ashram in India.
Oh, wow.
Where they brought him into...
Small world.
Yes, to show a little bit about color puncture, and then they developed a mastery of this work, which was very, very extensive, and about 12 people in the United States started it, and 3 of us completed it. So there's 3 of us that are eligible to teach, and 2 of us that are actually going through the program. So I'm in the middle of teaching a class right now, and it is a full certification class, and it goes over the course of 8 months.
Okay, so it's a commitment.
It is a big commitment. However, I do a mini class, which is more like a workshop. It's called an intro. And if you're a massage therapist or an acupuncturist, you can get CEUs for it. And that class is sort of a sampling of some of the things that you would learn throughout the training, so that if you come just for, those 2 or 3 days, that you would leave that class with tools that you could use to help your clients or your family or your children, if you have children, or yourself.
Okay. Now, do you travel with this camera, or is it sort of a stationary thing?
This camera is stationary. I have a different kind of camera, which is a Russian camera that I travel with. It gives me a little different information. It's not peculiar to the color puncture, but over the years I've used them both so much that I can translate the information in it. So I have done some talks. The other one's a little more exciting to look at. I do public speaking, and I've done some presentation at Unity Church and things like that. And I do take that other camera with me. Because people just like to see that something happened, that
Absolutely.
I'm not, just
like to see
making it
stuff.
up,
Yes. And that's just fun. We're all very visual generally.
Yeah.
So it's fun to have that, the colors, basically. What does that mean?
Yeah, exactly. And in the camera that I travel with, there's charts and graphs in it, so they can see exactly what they can change about their life, and how there's even a program in it that'll tell them when to wake up, when to go to sleep, and what to eat. So it's very exciting.
Yikes! Yikes!
And that's to optimize their health. It doesn't it doesn't mean everybody does that, but I know a lot of people are really interested in healthy living these days.
I couldn't agree with you more. And I think the more information we have, the more conscious decisions we can make about how we're going to get healthier or stronger or whatever we want to get more of.
Absolutely. Or more awake.
More awake. Yes, more consciously curious.
That's right.
Yes. Well, you have satisfied my curiosity about color puncture. I really like that whole concept. I think it just has a really great resonance to it. It makes sense to me, too. And it just sounds like a fun way to find out more about yourself.
It is. You'll have to come visit me.
I have to do that. I will do that.
Okay.
All right. So I think what we ought to do is end this segment with some ho-ho-ho breathing.
Oh, absolutely.
What do you think? Okay.
That would be great.
So,
okay, so put your hand on your stomach, on
Okay.
your lower stomach, and take in a deep breath.
ho, 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 ho,
Ho, ho, ho, ho, ho.
ho, 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 ho. And that's so Christmas, too.
That is absolutely Christmas.
Okay, thank you so much for joining me. It's been a pleasure, and I am so looking forward to seeing you January 19th and 20th, not before, at the 2013 Metaphysical Healing Expo.
Absolutely. I'll be there, and this has been a total delight. Thank you, Peggy.
It has. Well, you'll be back.
Okay.